Experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's innovation hub. Discover your opportunity at enterprisecayman.ky.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local environment. This is where we address the topics that matter. Here's your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning, Cayman. Welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. It's a beautiful Thursday, July 9th. A little bit of clouds in the sky, but that's okay because hopefully that's going to keep us a little cool out there. If you've got some weekend plans, I hope there's some good ones. The weather's going to be looking a little nice, a little breezy still, so just be prepared for that. We have intermittent showers that are happening, so just be aware, have your umbrella nearby, because I know I got caught in a 5-minute downpour the other day. It just ruined my entire day. I had to go home and change. So you don't want that to happen to you. We've got some open line this morning in the first 30 minutes of the show, so give me a call if you have some things on your mind that you'd like to talk about or anything that you want to share. Let me know how World Cup is going for you. Now, those numbers to call are 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp text or WhatsApp call me at 925-3261. And yes, of course, I just mentioned a little bit about World Cup, but if you've been listening to me these past few weeks, and I know a lot of the regular listeners, have been, they've been chiming in with who their teams are, but I'm going to give my extremely biased World Cup update. Reminder, extremely biased World Cup update. It's what I do. So we know that my teams are out. Canada, Croatia. Croatia got absolutely robbed last week. We all know that. How are you going to tell me a hair touched the ball and determine that the guy was offside? Absolutely not. If you're a Portugal fan and you think Portugal won fair and square, I'm just going to say you're part of the problem. Okay? All right. We did see what could have been, almost was, a huge upset in the Argentina versus Egypt game on Tuesday. I could not believe Egypt was leading 2-0 up until like 80-something minutes. There was just a few minutes left in regular time. And then all of a sudden, within 13 minutes, Argentina scores 3 goals to win that game 3-2. Absolutely outstanding. If you haven't seen that game, I would definitely encourage you to watch it. Messi even took a penalty shot earlier in the game and missed it. So that was a bit daunting. It almost, I guess it kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen in the game, but it didn't exactly foreshadow the right outcome because Argentina ended up winning. And so now we have our quarterfinals round, the last 8 teams standing. And those games begin today. I also want to say a little something about Switzerland and Colombia. I was gunning for Colombia. Colombia was maybe like my 5th team that I had out there. So I was gunning for Colombia. I love Colombia. Switzerland's a beautiful country too, but y'all heard me call Switzerland stand for nothing Switzerland. Friend to everyone is a friend to no one. Just because they beat one of my teams in the first round. Nobody thought this. I don't think anybody thought that Switzerland was going to make it to the final 8. So a bit of a surprise, interesting. I think we're also surprised at some of the bigger countries being out, Brazil being one of them, Portugal also being one of them, Croatia definitely being one of them, especially since they placed in the top 3 in the last 2 World Cups. So that's my upset. Congrats to Canada because you guys were absolutely historic for us. And with the U.S. men's national team, I guess you got what you got because you can't call and overturn that game that Belgium had on you. So somewhat happy to see who's in the top 8. And those games are returning today. So I think today we got France versus Morocco. And then we have Spain versus Belgium tomorrow. Norway and England on Saturday, and then Argentina versus Switzerland on Sunday. So who's going to make the semifinals? Is your team even in the quarterfinals? I know at Radio Cayman, a lot of people were going for Argentina. So, a lot of people at Radio Cayman are happy. A lot of Brazil fans here at Radio Cayman are just as upset as I am. So, is your team in the quarterfinals? Has your prediction changed at all in watching these games these past few weeks? Let me know and share your thoughts and predictions. You can give me a call, 1-800-534-8255, 949-8037, 949-6990, or you can WhatsApp me on 925-3261. Remember, you can WhatsApp call or send a message. So that is my World Cup extremely biased update for you. All right, so who are we going for today? Are we going for France or are we going for Morocco? I don't know. In a sense, I'd like to see the bit of the underdog, which is somewhat Morocco. Even though they placed really well in the last World Cup, I'd like to see them, pull a bit of an upset. But it has to be a strong enough team that's going to not let Argentina win again. Yeah, I know my coworker's going to throw things at me later. But I can duck. All right, let's give a bit of somewhat of a news update, local news update as it pertains to business in Cayman. Now, the first big story is one that every household and business and person is feeling, and that's inflation is moving up once again. I think we know this. We have been feeling it, at least since December. So the cost of living is absolutely increasing. And, I just want to know who got their CUC bill this month. Mine definitely had a jump, but I feel for people that have large homes and families. It's going to be a bit of a jump for you for sure. Although CUC did warn us this was happening. There is some fuel relief program as well that government has implemented. But man, with everything that's going on with the fuel prices globally, we got to hold on right here. This is something we have to hold on. Got to hold on, guys. We're going to try to make it through this very expensive time on our wallets. So the latest Consumer Price Index reports from the Economics and Statistics Office published June 15th, which analyzed January to March 2026, puts Cayman's annual inflation rate at 2.8% for the first quarter. That is up from 1.3% in the previous quarter. So while it is still below the highs that Cayman saw in 2022, it does show renewed pressure on the cost of living. What's driving that? There's quite a few things. Utility costs are one of the biggest talking points. And again, that is very much coming from the impact of global fuel prices. Cayman also imports more than 90% of goods and the food that we all consume. So when fuel, shipping, and logistics rise internationally, those increases eventually make their way onto local shelves, local utility bills, and local business costs. Right? We know this. The costs get passed down to the consumer. So electricity prices were reported up 5.1% year on year, and import-sensitive categories like clothing, your household goods, food, communication services, and equipment also saw price increases, especially in communication. There's also an interesting business angle around wages. So the increase in the minimum wage took effect on January 1st. And we were warned last May 2025 that this would be in effect for January 1st, 2026. Now that minimum wage increase, which was very necessary, is also showing up in some of these CPI categories. So for example, furnishings, household equipment, and routine household maintenance rose by 6.7%, with the report pointing to a sharp increase in the index for privately employed staff as minimum wage increases came into effect. Restaurants and hotels were also up 5.1% year on year, at least for that first quarter there. Again, I think we always knew that the impact of the much-needed minimum wage increase and the rising cost of doing business would ultimately be passed down to us, the consumer, to pay. So what are we doing to navigate those costs? We have to figure it out. We have to figure out how we're going to prioritize our needs and put some of our wants on hold. I know it can be really hard to do that, especially when we're used to getting what we want when we want it. But this might be a time where we just need to prioritize our needs more than anything. And I know it's summer, so nobody wants to hear that. Everybody wants to be outside, going on summer vacations, spending a lot more time with their friends and family and loved ones. And you can do so. There's plenty of activities you can do without burdening your pockets so much. So that is very much the real tension in the economy right now, the cost of living increase. Workers, we need more income to survive Cayman's cost of living, but businesses are also under pressure from rent, utilities, import costs, staff costs, and fuel-related increases. And yeah, we need more workers, but we don't have enough housing for these workers. So there's that too. And I'm just worried about what the future, the kind of medium-term effect of this for Cayman's future, because if we're bringing in a lot more workers, because we need to, the businesses need it, where are we putting them? And then we're forcing sort of the kind of everybody living in packed in sardines, living together like that. It forces a very uncomfortable way of living. And the idea that, well, you're an expat, you shouldn't have a convenience of, a comfortable place to live in is a wild notion. I've heard this notion. Why should I be living with 6 people in one bedroom? That makes no sense to me. We need more housing, and this is a big thing. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the affordable housing just after the break. So I'm going to be talking about that because, that's something that I've been bringing up lately as well. So this brings us to another major story. As I mentioned, the CUC bill that I got, which has risen definitely for this month. Now, electricity bills are set to rise for households, and you should know that if you got your bill. So a rate increase for Caribbean Utilities Company has been approved by the regulator, and based on last year's average residential consumption of 1,158 kilowatt hours per month, July bills would be about $50.36 higher. That increase includes CUC energy and facility charges, license and regulatory fees, and a larger increase tied to fuel costs. However, CUC had said government's fuel cost relief program would reduce that increase by about $17.43. CUC has also pointed to conflict and uncertainty in the Middle East, which we know about, as a factor behind fuel costs, and the company says those fuel costs are passed directly to consumers without a markup. But for residents and businesses, the bottom line is the same. Electricity is becoming a bigger monthly burden. And for small businesses, especially those in retail, restaurants, salons, offices, gyms, service industries, electricity is not optional. Absolutely not. It's part of the cost of doing business, and it's probably one of the biggest overheads a business has. So, something to keep in mind. Now, some of us may or may not remember an interview I had with Minister Anglin in December, who said the cost of living would not increase with the new budget. A bit more than 6 months later, I think it's about time that we have that follow-up interview that was promised to us, because I think we're all feeling that the cost of living has most definitely increased. That gives me this chance now to turn to government finances. And maybe we'll take a quick break right now and I'll give an update on government finances. They did send a press release about this last week. I don't know if everybody saw it, so I'm going to give you a bit of a rundown there, but we'll take a quick break.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center,
specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller. And right before the break, I mentioned there was an update when it comes to government finances. They did send out a press release about this, and it's also on gov.ky. If you go under the news section, it was published on July 3rd, which was just last Friday. So, major update here being that Cayman Islands government says its finances remain strong, with unaudited figures for the first 5 months of 2026 showing a core government surplus of $267.9 million. According to government, that stronger than expected performance has been driven largely by revenues coming in ahead of original forecasts, especially from the financial services sector. Government is still forecasting operating revenue of $1.288 billion for 2026, with an operating surplus of approximately $10.5 million. Officials say government also remains fully compliant with all 6 principles of responsible financial management. I'm going to interject here and say the point of government saying that they are still fully compliant with all 6 principles of responsible financial management is because that operating surplus of $10.5 million is a dangerously small operating surplus to be working from. Dangerously small. However, the good sign is that there has been an operating revenue that has, surpassed a little bit more than what they expected, what they projected. All right, that's me. That's my side note. Finished now. So, against the financial backdrop that I was just talking about there, Finance Committee approved $134.3 million in supplementary appropriations on Tuesday, June 30th. The additional funding is intended to support several national priorities, including education, cost of living relief, which I just talked about, infrastructure, environmental protection, culture and heritage, agriculture, public safety, and essential government services. One of the main areas of focus is helping Caymanian families manage the rising cost of living. Funding has been approved to expand the government's summer school program, continue financial assistance for those most in need, maintain summer stipend payments for bus drivers and bus wardens, and continue ex gratia payments for seafarers and veterans. Now, I think a big thing here is that funding has been approved also to expand the government's summer school program. I think that's a really, really great thing. That's also a bit of an aside. So back to the government finances. Government says that these measures will complement wider affordability initiatives, including the fuel relief program and increased duty allowances for returning residents. I mean, that is true. That there have been a couple of incentives that government has brought in that's helping people. Especially if you are going overseas and you need to buy things that are at a lot better value than you're likely going to find in Cayman. So the fact that duty allowance has gone up is definitely going to help people. There's also a strong infrastructure component. The approved funding includes support for the acquisition and completion of educational facilities to meet growing student enrollment, strategic public land purchases, major road and drainage works, Port Authority infrastructure and equipment, conservation land acquisitions, and continued investment in agriculture. Another major area is protecting Cayman's economy and essential services. Funding has been approved to help prepare the jurisdiction for the 5th round Caribbean Financial Action Task Force mutual evaluation. That's important to Cayman's reputation as a financial services center and its commitment to international standards on combating financial crime. So we all know the Financial Action Task Force, the FATF, and there's a Caribbean Financial Action Task Force that Cayman definitely is a part of. Cayman Airways will also receive additional funding to help deal with the extraordinary fuel price increases, engine replacement costs, and other operational pressures. Government says this support is important to maintaining reliable air connectivity for Caymanian families, businesses, and for the tourism industry. And another aside, I definitely think Cayman Airways is one of the most beautiful introductions one can have to the Cayman Islands, because that service on that plane is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm a stickler when it comes to service, trust me. So, additional investments will go toward the Cayman Islands Fire Service, youth programs, sporting initiatives, and the preservation and promotion of Caymanian culture and heritage. I love the fact that we're going to be pushing a little bit more money to youth programs and sporting initiatives, because a reminder, Cayman has, I think he's still the world lead in the 200 meter with Jaden Reed. Cayman has Devontae Howell and Jaden Reed, who they have Olympic final times in the 100 meter run. That's incredible. Those are two gentlemen that you are very likely going to see in the next Olympics, and maybe even the finals in the 100 meters. That is huge. Then we had Jackson Cover, who was the last pick in the first round of the NHL draft by the Ottawa Senators, who started playing actual ice hockey, I think it was, at 13. I mean, that's absolutely insane. We have Jordan Crooks, who has returned to swimming, who broke a world record. We have Joshua O'Garo, who was just picked up by a team in London. I forget the team's name. So the fact that government is looking at spending more money to support sport programs and youth programs, I think that's absolutely wonderful and needed, because those young people need our support, and they're helping put Cayman on the map. Absolutely. Look at what sports does. I love sports. I'm a huge advocate of sports. We all know that I wish I was a professional athlete, but now I'm a wannabe retired, wannabe professional athlete. So that's life. Anyways, now Premier Andre Ebanks said the strong financial position allows government to make meaningful investments in people's lives now, while also building a stronger and fairer Cayman for the future. He said the additional $134.3 million will support education, affordability measures, public services, the environment, agriculture, culture, infrastructure, and economic diversification. So Minister for Finance, Ralston Anglin, said the supplementary appropriations show that responsible financial management can deliver real benefits. And I hope that we can be talking to Minister Anglin in the next, before the summer is out, as he has promised, to give us an update on that budget. So he said the spending was carefully considered, This is the extra spending, and is being done without increasing the level of borrowing already approved in the 2026-2027 budget. Following the approvals, government says operating revenue is now forecast at $1.288 billion, which is about $30 million higher than originally budgeted. Government continues to project a $10.5 million operating surplus for 2026. Again, reminder that that is a dangerously narrow surplus still. No additional borrowing was required, and cash reserves are expected to remain at around 94 days of operating expenditure. Because this additional $134.3 million in spending is on top of what was already approved in the main budget, government now has to bring a supplementary appropriation bill to Parliament. And if you're like me and was wondering, what is a supplementary appropriation bill? It's a bill that's a formal legal mechanism that authorizes the extra spending. So in other words, Finance Committee has approved the additional funding that was not included in the 2026-2027 budget, but Parliament still has to pass the bill. So the spending has legal authority as per the Public Management and Finance Act. So it's a whole lot there. Some of the major points that I had just mentioned is that core government recorded a $267.9 million surplus for the first 5 months of 2026. Stronger revenues were driven mainly by the financial services sector, and I definitely applaud our Premier for all of the effort that he has put in helping to promote our financial services sector, especially in the virtual assets space, because I'm hearing a lot more. We've had laws changed to accommodate the virtual asset space. There's a lot more going on with it. I'm starting to get my mind wrapped up around, should I be getting into crypto? So there's things that I think that are great for Cayman that are happening that we should kind of dig into a little bit more. So as I'm realizing, I'm just almost about to come up to the 8 a.m. news. So the other major point that I want people to remember is that government is forecasting a $1.288 billion in operating revenues for 2026, and that Finance Committee approved $134.3 million in supplementary appropriations, which I think is a bit of a fancy way to say additional spending. All right? That's what it is. So before we go to the 8 a.m. news, I do want to give a shout out and welcome our official new Deputy Governor and Head of the Civil Service, as today is her official second day, Miss Gloria McField-Nixon. She formally took her oath of office and was sworn in during a special cabinet ceremony yesterday. She became Cayman's first female Deputy Governor, which is a historic moment for the Cayman Islands, and we wish her the best as she embarks on this very important role in the civil service, but also for all of Cayman. And I'm going to try to get an interview with her very, very soon, at least before the summer is over. So I know I said I'm going to talk to you about affordability, but there's the affordable housing and the policy plan that they put out at the end of April. Trust me, I have so much to talk to you about on that. So if I do not get the time, well, I don't have the time today, but we're looking at Tuesday. Hopefully, I'm going to have some open line there as well, and we can get into that because it's a lot that I've read and a lot that I've prepared, and I want to bring us all up to speed with that. So right now, let's go to the 8 a.m. news, and I will be back with the Cayman Islands Regiment at 8:15.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, No Cayman, and right. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The trial of Neville Faulkner continues today in Grand Court after the defendant cross-examined the complainant and testimony turned to emergency responders. Radio Cayman's Jevi Ebanks report.
Day 2 of the trial of Neville Faulkner centered on the defendant's cross-examination of Haroon Pandui, the director of planning. Mr. Faulkner, who's representing himself, has pled not guilty to a charge of using an ICT network to annoy, harass, or defraud Mr. Pandui. The court heard that Mr. Faulkner is a former electrical inspector with planning and previously reported to Mr. Pandui. Mr. Faulkner alleges that the director exceeded his authority by declaring his property unfit for human habitation, a decision he says left more than 20 tenants homeless. During cross-examination, Mr. Faulkner argued that emails he sent to Mr. Pandui are protected under his constitutional right to freedom of expression. He maintained that the photographs included in the emails were not intended as threats and argued that because Mr. Pandui interpreted the photos differently, it cannot be definitively classed as threatening. Mr. Pandui rejected those assertions. He told the court that based on the contents of the emails, the photographs, and the intended recipients, he believed the communications were intended as threats. After Mr. Pandui's evidence concluded, the court began hearing testimony from 2 fire officers who responded to the fire at the Fern Circle property at the center of the dispute. Jevi Ebanks, Radio Cayman News.
Government is rolling out the next phase of the My EID program with expanded eligibility now in effect.
The My EID card will give these islands a strong infrastructural base for the next wave of digital services and future efficiencies.
Deputy Chief Officer in the Ministry of Social Development and Innovation, Charles Brown, tells Radio Cayman applications are now being accepted from all permanent residents with or without the right to work and eligible dependents, including spouses and civil partners of Caymanians and permanent residents. My EID is an official government-issued photo identification card that provides a, quote, trusted and convenient way for eligible residents to prove their identity. It also serves as the foundation for future digital government services, helping to modernize how residents interact with both government and participating organizations. Applicants who meet the eligibility requirements may now book an appointment to enroll for their My EID card. Head to myeid.egov.ky for more information. The National Weather Service has released June weather statistics for Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac, showing a hot and unusually dry start to the wet season. Radio Cayman's Elizabeth Charles has more.
The National Weather Service says June stayed hot and much drier than normal on Grand Cayman and Cayman Brac. In its June 2026 summary, the service reports average temperatures around 86 degrees Fahrenheit on both islands. In Grand Cayman, the maximum reached 93.4 degrees on June 22nd, with a minimum of 75.2 on June 21st. Monthly rainfall there totaled 2.4 inches, well below the 30-year June average. On Cayman Brac, the average temperature was 86.6 degrees, with a high of 91.9 on June 25th and a low of 72.7 on June 14th. Rainfall for the month was 3.2 inches. The service says total rainfall on both islands remains several inches below the long-term average for the start of the wet season. Average humidity in June was in the low to mid-70s on both islands, according to the summary. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Elizabeth Charles.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller.
BBC News with Moira Alderson. The US and Iran have traded strikes for a second night, with the Iranian Foreign Ministry condemning American attacks on civilian infrastructure as a war crime. The US says it struck some 90 military targets. Iran said it targeted American assets in Kuwait, Bahrain and Qatar. Meanwhile, large crowds are lining the streets in the city of Mashhad, where Iran's late supreme leader Ali Khamenei is due to be buried later today, in the culmination of a week of funeral processions and rallies. US strikes put the railway line connecting Tehran to Mashhad out of service last night. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Water Authority Cayman wants to hear from you. Complete our quick, anonymous customer survey online and enter for a chance to win a $500 Water Authority Cayman gift certificate. To get started, visit waterauthority.ky or see your June billing statement for a link to the survey. It takes only 5 minutes. The survey closes July 22nd. Your feedback helps to shape the future of water and wastewater services. Have your say today at waterauthority.ky.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 87%. The barometric pressure is 1014.9 millibars. The wind is out of the east at 4 knots. Synopsis indicate periods of cloudiness with isolated showers, and the chance of thunderstorms are expected across the Cayman Islands over the next couple of days as an upper level low slowly drifts westward. Radar imagery show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area moving towards the west. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures today will be in the low 90s with a heat index near 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Your winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. A small craft advisory will be in effect for today and tonight as well. Forecast for tonight pretty much the same. Mostly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder, and temperatures falling to the low 80s. Winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Today's low tide will be this morning at 11:19, high tide this evening at 6:35. The sun will set this evening at 6 minutes past 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:55. And the outlook is calling for a tropical wave to drift across the Cayman area late tonight or early Friday, bringing an increase in moisture. This wave should interact with the upper level low, supporting the chance of a few showers at times. With scattered thunder showers, and winds and seas will also increase as a low level jet pushes through the area as well. A small craft advisory will be in effect through the weekend, and furthermore from late Friday night into early Saturday morning, a moderate to locally thick concentration of Saharan dust once again moves over the western Caribbean, which will bring hazy and drier conditions. A dust alert is likely to be issued on Friday night. And that's the very latest on your weather report.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
For the Health of It, heard on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. and repeated on Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. is brought to you by The Light Room. Tired of being unwell and struggling to find the energy and vitality to live the life you desire? Come get recharged from the inside out at The Light Room. Our non-invasive, holistic energy enhancement system detoxifies and energizes the body, enabling self-healing and balance. Book online at www.thelightroom.ky or call 938-HEAL, 38 Pasadora Place, GT.
The Passport and Corporate Services Office is urging all residents to verify the validity of their travel documents and take steps to protect them ahead of the hurricane season, which starts the 1st of June. Residents are advised to check passport expiry date, verify entry requirements for their destination, apply for or renew passports and visas early, and make copies of passports and key documents and store them in waterproof containers. For more information, call 345-649-7678 or email passportandcorporate@gov.ky.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning, let's check in with traffic, see what's happening on our roads. Coming from the east, traffic is further up on Shamrock Road is moving at a moderate pace. Further down, little steadier traffic as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Steady traffic on Halton Avenue, coming off of Bobby Thompson Way as well. And a little steady traffic heading towards the Georgetown area on Crew Road. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a moderate pace in both directions, as well as on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz. Downtown Georgetown not looking too bad as traffic is moderate on Edward Street as well as into Georgetown on Shedden Road. If you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. Coming from the West Bay four-way stop, traffic is flowing pretty good. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 12:15. We'll give you another look at traffic. And before we go, coming off of the Essex Tibbetts Highway, steady bit flowing, and continuing on to North Sound Road.
Start your year off right with Subway's Fresh Fit menu. 4 protein-packed subs with 20 grams or more of protein, under 500 calories, and loaded with full servings of crisp veggies on hearty multi-grain bread. Try the grilled chicken and avocado, the ham and turkey stacker, the seasoned steak and avocado, or the turkey and ranch delight. Big flavor, plenty of protein, and fresh veggies in every bite. Fuel your day the Fresh Fit way. Only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
RC Fusion is proudly brought to you by TCE Paint Shop, Farmers and Artisans Retail Market. RC Fusion, weekdays 10 a.m. to 12 midday, right here on Radio Cayman 89.9.
RC Fusion.
Radio Cayman Energy.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Good morning and welcome to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and I hope I got the guest on the right mic here. We'll find that out in just a second. But anyways, things that I should be figuring out during the commercial break, right? So on this segment of The Buzz, we're talking about readiness and resilience with the Cayman Islands Regiment. So joining me right now in studio is Major Gabe Rabess. He's the Training and Operations Officer for the regiment. He's responsible for making sure every member is skilled, current, and ready to respond to any major incident, from hurricanes to humanitarian emergencies. So, Major Rabess, welcome to The Buzz.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you, Kathy, and good morning to our listeners also.
No problem. It's good to have you on the show. We on the right mic, Susan? We good? Okay, good. My bad for not sorting that out earlier, but we were having quite the conversation. So, this is your second time, I believe, being with me on The Buzz. Second time, maybe third? I'm going to go with second.
Second, I believe.
Second one-on-one. You might have come in with a couple of other people before. And I understand that, well, you said you're newly into the role as Training and Operations Officer, right?
That's correct, yeah.
So let us know. Congrats as well, since you got this role. But what all falls under that role? What are you responsible for, really?
Okay, all right. So the Trainers and Operations Officer, there's two roles. The training side of things and the operations side of things. The training side of things, basically, I'm responsible for design and implementation of training programs throughout within the regiment. What that involves is that reaching out to other agencies, regional partners, seeing what kind of training that they offer, and to see whether we're able to offer training for them and vice versa. Operations-wise, it's planning and coordinating of operations and events. So if we're looking to send some persons abroad, I'm involved in the planning and the organising of that. That's in a nutshell. It's a big responsibility, but I'm still learning as we go.
Okay, awesome. That's good. I mean, congrats again. It's a new role, so I'm sure you'll do well with it. And the development of the people joining the regiment is very crucial, very important. So it is a big responsibility, but they wouldn't have given it to you if you couldn't have done it, right? That's for sure. So, you got that confidence behind you. How do you, I know you're new to it, but how are you looking at shaping the training program for the Cayman Islands Regiment?
So we've got 5 capabilities. Okay, so those capabilities are HADA, or Humanitarian Assistance, Disaster Relief, Urban Search and Rescue. Obviously, we've got the medical side of things. We've got security, small element of it at the moment, and general duties, so you're lifting and shifting of stuff. So our training is basically going to be geared around those 5 capabilities. And we're looking to start basic with the recruits, and then right all the way up to advanced level stuff with regional partners as well as local partners also. So that's the plan, is to so that the regiment itself can be to go to for humanitarian aid, disaster relief, those 5 capabilities, but in particular humanitarian aid and USAR, search and rescue.
Okay, and I definitely can say I've witnessed, didn't necessarily need the help, but I understand you guys maybe helped with. Did you guys help with boarding windows in the last hurricane that was coming? But I have witnessed the regiment in helping with so much, especially the post-storm, but also during storms, just helping people if they need to get out of a home or an area that's flooded. There's help with that. There's help with bringing supplies, all sorts of stuff. So
yeah, that's it. From the start, or prior to the storm coming, we're helping the community and our other partners up until the storm itself, and then even immediately after the storm, we're out there helping and assisting where we can.
You are boots on ground, absolutely.
Indeed.
I can see it. So the annual camp is just completed, right? And it's part of the regiment's training program. What exactly is the annual camp, and why is it an important part of the regiment training?
Okay, so the annual camp is the Cayman Islands Regiment's most important training period of the year. Bringing the entire regiment together to sharpen its skills, strengthen the teamwork, and validate our operational readiness. This year focused on ensuring every reservist was prepared to deliver across those 5 core capabilities that I mentioned earlier, so we can respond quickly, professionally and effectively whenever the Cayman Islands needs us. The key part of this year's camp was the Distinguished Visitors Day, and this is where we invited employers, partners and key stakeholders to see firsthand the skills and discipline and the teamwork and the commitment of our reservists. Their employees, or their reservists, or their employees, while gaining, the greater understanding of their role within the regiment, and while supporting the national resilience. And some of those people included Her Excellency the Governor also, which is she's a great supporter of us.
Okay, awesome. Now I went and visited a training initiative that the regiment had put on last year. So I wonder if it is the annual camp that I might have visited. It was, where I went was up by the agriculture grounds. So there was a whole all the tents were built out. We had Jamaica there, you had Bahamas,
right.
and Caicos.
Okay, yeah.
Was that the annual
Yeah, so that was an annual camp, no.
Okay.
That was Event Horizon. So it was the first time that we were actually a part of that, and we played a significant part of that within the HADA capability. Ironically enough, I'm heading there at the end of this week to Jamaica to discuss next year's Event Horizon and see what part we can play, and the Cayman Islands can play in that also.
Okay, I really enjoyed that. That was a very cool experience.
Big event.
To see what you guys were doing. It was a big event. So you're going to be pulling off big events like that, right? You will, Major Rabess, you will. So this year's camp was 9 days. And it was fully immersive.
Correct.
Now, when I think of immersive, I'm thinking of immersive art experiences. So what do we mean when it comes to fully immersive in a regiment camp?
Okay, so that's a good question. The training was designed to give the reservists a realistic experience in the operation in the field, over 9 days. Last year it was 5 days. They lived and worked in temporary conditions, so tents, not necessarily with AC all the time, conducting continuous training to build their skills individually and then come together collectively to work as a team. This ended with a 3-day or 2-night field training exercise. So throughout the camp, reservists were tested on the leadership and teamwork, communications, planning and emergency response in realistic scenarios. This year it was a Cat 4, ironically, a hurricane called Carter, which is our previous CEO.
Okay.
A key focus was working alongside, obviously, our partner agencies and organisations, and these included Cayman Islands Coast Guard, RCIPS in particular, the K9 unit, and Air Operations Unit, Department of Public Safety and Communications, we know them as 911, as well as a private entity or CUC. So this strengthened coordination and understanding of how we operate together during national emergencies. And other situations were combined response is required. So it was good. It's the first time that we included a lot of persons. Next year, the intent is to be bigger and better with more agencies attending.
Okay. I think you guys did pretty good with the agencies that you did involve, at least the local partnerships, right? That you did involve. Now, when you said they had to kind of reenact some realistic scenarios, I think you mentioned a Cat 4 hurricane, right? Was any other realistic scenarios that you can describe to us? And for the Cat 4, what did they have to do? What was presented?
Well, that involved, so prior to them going out on exercises, so we were established at the agricultural ground, so that was our main base, where we lived under those conditions with the tents. And then the hurricane, I gave some orders, the hurricane hit. Then they went out, they deployed out as a separate entities, 2 squadrons on separate occasions, or 2 teams, set up their own little base where they operated out of. So as we know, during a hurricane, the NEOC's activated, and then tasks come in through the NEOC. So the agricultural ground simulated the NEOC. So we had tasks for the teams out on the ground, and it was a search and rescue or providing shoring of a building that had collapsed in the East End, search and rescue of persons that had gone out looking for a dog and got lost. What else was there? There were general duties and tasks, so putting up, erecting tents and shelter for teams, and we even had to clear a patch of land, simulating where a field hospital was supposedly going to go, or possibly going to be set up a little bit later on. So very realistic. And
these are kind of cool experiences. Well, I'm thinking it's cool, and you're like, wait till you get out there, Kathy. It's work.
Cool, it's hot.
Yeah, it's actually really hot out there, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be a fun experience, but it's hard work.
It is. So everyone that I've spoken to about it seems to have really enjoyed it. It's different. It's as realistic as possible, as realistic as we can get really here, with especially of the limited resources that we actually have. And we're thankful to some private entities who allowed us to use their land and certain properties that were due to be demolished, so we could actually cut into buildings, realistically cut into buildings, rather than simulating that in a training rig.
Because you said that was a house in East End. Was it a house that was on fire, just that was demolished? Because it was a hurricane, so it can't be on fire, right?
So it was partially demolished as a result of the hurricane. Yeah, the teams had to get near the property, which there was down power lines. So the power line training that they did with CUC, that played a key part of them. This is how we remember it. And once they got in, do a risk assessment on the property, what they can and can't do, and then setting up equipment tents, support tents, and then getting the teams together, organised to go and actually do the rescue. Actually physically cutting into a building. As opposed to simulating it in a training rig, which we would normally do.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I can sit there and read the book and listen to the lecture or whatever it might be, but if I'm way more hands-on, if I can actually experience it and do it, I'm going to learn way quicker that way. So yeah, I'm sure all the trainees appreciated that.
They did.
100%. So did you time them at all in any of these tasks? Is that
No, okay. It wasn't timed.
It wasn't like you have to set up a field hospital within 10 minutes.
There was, not exactly. There was an element of pressure there where some of the tasks had to be done no later than. So we were testing resources as well, resources allocation, so they were managing their resources so that they're not looking to burn out everybody at a time. So they were looking to prioritise their tasks. Yes, we can go and set up a field hospital, but dropping off 180 sandbags at this location is going to have to wait, kind of thing.
Okay.
So that's that's what we're talking about as far as the time scale wise, yeah.
Very real life scenario, especially in a disaster and emergency.
Yeah, definitely. And
quick decisions.
Yeah, the leaders, the team leaders, they did a great job. They really enjoyed it. The feedback that I've received so far has all been positive. Bear in mind that we've only got 87. There's only 87 of us reservists. That includes full-time staff. Okay. So managing those resources of the demands that come in are really important.
87 reserves, okay. And that does include staff, you said?
Full-time staff.
That
includes full-time staff. But we've got some recruits coming.
Okay, excellent. I mean, that's a pretty good number. It's been climbing every year, so I think you guys are doing pretty well with that. With how the annual camp went, was there anything that you saw that the reserves excelled at that you were quite happy to see?
The planning, definitely, because prior to the exercise, they had some like a revise and review, some refresher training, and that was good. That was well received because not all the reservists can come to train all the training.
Yeah.
So sometimes some people are a little bit behind. The teamwork, the cohesiveness, even when they're tired, was really good. So we saw a great bonding between all the reservists, not just specific team members, but on the regiment as a whole.
That's excellent. Mm-hmm. It's important because when you feel like you can't keep going, it's leave no man behind. That mentality you have to have. And
yeah, once camp finished, the work wasn't done. Hadn't finished for everybody, so we had to pack up everything. So you're tired, you want to go home, you want a good meal because you've been eating the same meal day in, day out. You want to go home, but everybody came together. We tore down camp or packed up the tents, packed up the equipment, and left the agricultural grounds in a better state than how we found it in, really.
Okay,
so yeah, and that was good.
Excellent.
That was good to see.
Now, on the flip side, was there anything during the annual camp that the regiment realized, okay, we need to focus on this a little bit more, we need to see some improvement, or that you want to see the reserves strengthen their skills in?
We're always looking for improvement. The reservists, they all did really well. Is there any one thing in particular? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Okay. I mean, we've got a PXR, which is a post-exercise review in a few days, and that's where everyone gives some feedback. Okay. So I think one of the main things when I was running through them was the food.
What was the comments on the food?
Yeah, as it would be is the same. It's the same food. The rations, it's.
I'm kind of side-eyeing you. Yes, so I'm looking at you to be like, come on, that was weren't you the operations side? Weren't you in charge of their food and what they get and the planning of that logistics there? Mm-hmm. But it is realistic. And so I guess my question there is, when you provided them rations, but did you also require them to kind of gather their own food at all?
So they were able to bring some snacks if they were able to, but this was before coming to camp. So once they were in camp, we tried to avoid any outside contact with them whatsoever.
Okay.
So it was the rations, and the rations are good enough, 24-hour rations, and the packs themselves have been proven to have the nutrients they need to last for 24 hours. Okay. But it's not the.
So that's a test as well on the reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
big
it
time.
is. Yeah, it's not your healthy, your salads, that people are normally used to and things like that. So it does take its toll on the stomach after a while.
Because your body needs a certain amount of calories to be able to perform.
The calories are there.
Yeah.
But not like how we need it. So I'm vegetarian. So there's certain things I can and can't eat.
Right.
Can and can't eat. And so they do have vegetarian ration packs.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. We're going to go to our first commercial break, and then we're going to talk about your regional partnerships, why there's a focus with regional partnership training. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go to our commercial break.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. We are talking about the Cayman Islands Regiment. We were just discussing the annual camp that they had, and we're also talking about some other training programs going on with the regiment, how they've shaped their training for the reserves. And in studio with me, I have Major Gabe Rabess, who is the Training and Operations Officer with the Cayman Islands Regiment. So you gave us a pretty detailed description of how the annual camp went, which seemed pretty cool to me. So now I'm thinking, should I become a reservist just so I could have fun? But I just don't want the real hard work. So
Okay.
Also, I have really nice long nails. I'm not trying to... I've gone into my, what do they call, the soft life era. Not really. I just do a certain thing. I like adventurous stuff like that, but I just want to do it when I want to do it. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. and like
nice
have to...
nails,
I know. Yeah, thank you very much. I'll have to lug 50 pounds of whatever somewhere. That's not my thing, but I can appreciate that as a career as well. And the reservists, I think it's important for people to remember that as the reservists here in Cayman, they mostly have full-time jobs.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so
yes, they do.
We're thankful to their employers as well that they're able to let our reservists go and help in the times of need.
Yes.
For sure. Okay, so you've invested heavily in regional training this year. Why is that regional collaboration so important?
Okay. Collaboration is important. It allows us to learn from our experienced partners, share our best practices and develop capabilities that align with international standards. Overseas training strengthens interoperability. It builds a relationship with regional counterparts and ensures that the regiment remains prepared and ready to respond to the complex emergencies that might arise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think one of the things that I appreciated when I went to the Event Horizon training that happened last March, 2025?
I think it was January, February time.
Okay.
Beginning of the year.
Okay. First quarter of 2025 when I went to that. It was very cool seeing the different countries. And I know I spoke to, I want to say General something from Jamaica. I forget the guy's name now. I don't even know if he was a general. I feel really bad. I don't know your ranks.
Okay.
My apologies.
No. That's fine. That's all right. Nor did I.
He was very cool in the sense of just kind of taking me under his wing and just showing me around and explaining what the Jamaican regiment was doing. It was the Jamaican Defense Force, I believe it was there. And it was interesting to see the different kind of responsibilities and how everybody was working together. And I know that when Turks and Caicos, I think, had a terrible hurricane, I don't think the regiment was together then. I want to say no. But I know that Cayman sent some people to help. I know Dean Bremer, our engineer, for an example, is one of them, went down to help repair some of their
infrastructure.
Yeah, thank you, because it's like a tower that I don't have the right word for. So infrastructure is great. Thank you. So you see help with that, and Hurricane Melissa.
Yeah.
Did some of the Cayman Islands Regiment go to?
So it was after the fact. Early on this year, I think we sent a team of, I think it was eight or nine reservists. They went to Jamaica to assist in post Hurricane Melissa. In particular, they went to parish, I think it's St. Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Where they were tasked with other regiments to assist in specifically repairing roofs of the local communities. They lived out in the field, similar to annual camp.
Mm-hmm.
They went with the Royal Bermuda Regiment. There was Ghana was there, Guyana was there, Turks and Caicos were there, and they basically worked. Well, our guys worked for 2 weeks straight in repairing local communities' houses and the roofs. I actually went over just to see how they were getting on and got involved in some of the the repairs myself. It was good to see everybody coming together, working well, having laughs. At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
Even though what Jamaica had actually gone through, the community was really receptive to everybody, really welcoming. Sometimes they just wanted to chat about their experiences. It was, having lived through Hurricane Ivan, I come from Ivan, so that did bring back some memories.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to see, just the work that everybody's putting in. It's no me and them, it's us all together.
That unity, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, people tend to come together during, apparently at sports or moments of disaster,
Mm-hmm.
Which is interesting. It's an interesting juxtaposition of reasons why people unify.
Mm-hmm.
But for your impression then, seeing how the regiment was in Jamaica, that was a very extreme real life experience.
Mm-hmm.
You could very much see their training in effect.
Mm-hmm.
So in seeing that, were you, what was your feeling with that, being like, this is what our training has done, we have been able to produce great reservists, and we do have a strong Cayman Islands Regiment?
No, I'm very proud of all our reservists. It's only over the last couple of years or so that we've actually managed to show this regionally.
Mm-hmm.
We've sent people to Trinidad on a specific course, but there was a small HADA instructor element of it that they asked for us to send instructors down there to give their reservists or their military an introduction into humanitarian assistance and disaster relief, as well as USAR. You come into the regiment not knowing much at all, and the longer that you're there, excuse me, the longer that you're there, the more you know, the more you travel, the more relationships you build, the more friendships you build, and it's not just a temporary thing, it's for life. I'm still in communications with some of the guys from Ghana, send me welfare checks now and again, which is nice, it touches me.
Yeah, okay. Now, you had mentioned just now Urban Search and Rescue, or USAR?
Yes, that's right.
Acronym,
yes.
USAR. So that's a major focus in the training. Can you explain what that training involves? Why is it critical for Cayman?
So USAR training is basically it prepares personnel to respond to the emergencies involving collapsed structures, damaged infrastructure, trapped casualties. This includes search techniques, breaking and breaching, lifting and moving, shifting stuff, shoring up arches, doorways, windows, and casualty extraction. So for Cayman, this capability is critical for us due to the risk associated with earthquakes, hurricanes, severe weather, and of course infrastructure damage.
So the collapsed building in East End that was part of that annual camp experience that they had to break into that house.
Yeah, so it's simulated. It was a simulated collapsed building. Although the building was derelict, it enabled us to utilise our tools and our skills to actually breach the building.
And that's an example of the USAR training.
That's correct, yes.
Okay. Now, how does the regiment prepare personnel for medical response during disasters or emergencies?
Okay, so we develop our medical readiness through casualty care training, emergency response drills, and working alongside other agencies such as HSA, where we're actually looking forward to developing our relationship further, as well as other regional partners. I'm talking about other regional partners, Lejeune, Camp Lejeune. There's a huge military medical facility there, training facility there. We were privileged to send, I think, 9 reservists up there to become medical proficient in medical terms. Our reservists are trained to provide immediate care and support, stabilise casualties, transportation of them, and assist during large-scale emergencies or mass casualty events, as we're familiar that happens here annually on an annual basis.
Okay, I'm curious about the medical response. So with the kind of skills that they're learning, I'm thinking of some basics like CPR, then I'm also thinking, are they learning how to stitch people up? Like how?
Not necessarily stitching people up, no.
Okay.
So yeah, we have your first responders. The level that we're training our reservists up to is like mass bleeding or mass hemorrhaging.
Okay.
So all the way to hypothermia or hyperthermia. We talk about respiratory, circulation, airway management, that kind of things.
So it's definitely a different medical proficiency than your average person like me.
Than your lay person, yes,
across,
definitely.
For example.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, now another part of the training focus is on humanitarian assistance and disaster response, or is it just HADR or HADR?
Yeah, no, it's HADR, or as you said it right,
okay.
humanitarian assistance and disaster relief.
So what does that training look like in practice?
So with humanitarian, it's where the USAR and HADR are quite similar. With HADR, you are looking to battening down of preparing buildings places for storms. You're also looking to provide assistance where needed.
So as you said, it's similar. No, it's okay. It's similar to the USAR. I was about to say the wrong acronym.
Yeah.
It's similar to USAR, but so if it's similar, what's the difference there? I guess then I would want to know.
Urban search and rescue. So actually specifically looking for persons. Was HADR is disaster relief, disaster assistance and relief. So you've got your elements of search and rescue, shelter support, logistics, debris clearance, infrastructure assistance. That's what HADR, humanitarian assistance disaster relief is, or HADR as we know it.
Okay, I know the acronyms are they're confusing me. Hopefully they're not confusing you as much. But okay, there's another acronym coming here. There's CDEMA. Maybe it's CDMA training.
So that's CDEMA.
CDEMA, okay.
Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency.
Okay.
So recently Cayman sent 5 persons to attend the training in Jamaica. It was last month. So, excuse me, we had 1 from HMCI, 2 RCIPS officers, and we sent 2 reservists also, 2 junior NCOs. It was a great opportunity for them to build the knowledge and experience in disaster response. They gained a better understanding of how regional partners coordinate during the emergencies, to include in areas such as logistics, planning, and working together in the wider Caribbean response effort. What they did is when they brought this back, it basically helped strengthen the regiment's ability to support Cayman during times of crisis, and improves on on how we work alongside our local and regional partners.
Okay. Okay. Again, there's so much regional training going on that I absolutely see that collaboration happening, right?
Yeah.
And we need it because we all help each other out as small island nations. We're going to go a quick commercial break right now, our last one for this segment, and then we'll be back.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
The countdown is on. Join us on Saturday, 11th July, 7 p.m. at the historic Pedro St. James for an unforgettable evening under the theme Starlit Shores. Watch 6 outstanding young Caymanian women take the stage as they compete for the prestigious title of Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2026. Experience an evening filled with elegance, confidence, culture, entertainment, and inspiration. Tickets are available now on Ticket Plus and at Funky Monkey. Join us as we enter a new era.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and from the Cayman Islands Regiment, I have with me in studio Major Gabe Rabess, and he was just telling us all about the training that the Cayman Islands Regiment has gone through in at least for 2026 so far. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about my experience checking out the 2025 event Horizon, so I've seen a little bit about what the Cayman Islands Regiment does in their training efforts, and we've mentioned your regional collaborations, right? We've talked about that and seen how the reservists have been effective in helping some of our neighboring countries. But when it comes to the leadership training abroad, how does it really strengthen the regiment here at home? Like, how do we apply that, the learning abroad here?
Okay, so I attended a strategic leadership course in Barbados that was supported by a defence attaché in Jamaica. And what this did is gave me the opportunity to learn from experienced leaders, to see the different approaches, and bring some of those lessons back here with me. It helped strengthen my decision making, my planning, and ability to lead teams effectively, especially in challenging situations. Ultimately, I was able to develop strong relationships with the leaders, which means that we are better prepared to support the community and respond to any national emergency.
Okay, great. So it's developed you as a strong leader?
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. But it's not just myself. There are opportunities that present themselves for our junior officers, non-commissioned officers also. Bermuda played a big part in this, so I did play a big part of this. So during our inception, the Royal Bermuda Regiment basically offered us an opportunity to train with them. So we had an insight into what it was all about initially. This was invaluable to develop our reservists or reservist officers and capabilities, and it continues to be so. They've assisted us in officer preparation for Sandhurst in the past, which I was part of.
Okay, now I've got to ask about Sandhurst because I understand that 2 individuals are heading to Sandhurst.
Yeah.
I was like, what is Sandhurst?
Yes.
So please tell me, what is Sandhurst? What does the officer training at that level mean for the regiment?
Yeah, so, Royal Military Academy Sandhurst is in the UK. And I was I was part of the first cohort to go here from Cayman, and sending 2 Caymanians heading to this prestigious academy in September, which is a significant milestone for us. As I say, it's the fourth cohort, and reflects the commitment to developing strong Caymanian leaders within the regiment. This program itself is over 8 weeks. Sandhurst is, or should I say, it will challenge them physically, mentally, and academically, while developing their leadership, decision making, and command skills. And this will all be whilst alongside, future officers from all around the world. They'll return as junior officers or second lieutenants with valuable experience and knowledge that will help strengthen the regiment and shape our future leaders, basically.
Now, I told you this a little bit earlier, but when I had a real quick synopsis of what Sandhurst is, right? And there was in that synopsis, it describes Sandhurst as you leave there as an officer, not just a soldier. And I was like, what does this mean exactly? So I understand there's different, I guess, pathways at Sandhurst?
That's not pathways at Sandhurst. No, it's just in general in the military, you have 2 pathways. You have the non-commissioned course.
Okay.
And then you have the officers or the commissioned course.
What do those 2 courses mean?
So, to simplify things for our listeners, so your commissioned course is for your leaders, the people who lead by example, your officers. So they're leading people, they're planning people in making decisions. And then you have the non-commissioned officer side of things. They are the workhorses. So they are the one that instills, values and standards and discipline amongst the troopers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that as an officer, you're higher ranked.
Well, so he's commissioned by His Majesty the King. Yes. Whereas,
but then the non-commissioned ones do all the heavy work.
So yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, so we've got a warrant officer, class 1. So Regiment Sergeant Major Jeffries. So he's basically done a lot. So. Us as officers or the commanding officer would lean upon him for his experience and knowledge and like an advisory role. Mm-hmm. So they are really important.
Okay, yeah. Excellent. I'm just teasing you with that comment there. Okay, so we spoke about Bermuda a little bit right there, mm-hmm. and what Sandhurst is. Mm-hmm. And later this week, there's supposed to be 4 personnel heading to Jamaica for the Caribbean Reserve Training Camp.
That's right. That's tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow. What will that experience offer?
Again, an opportunity over the next 2 weeks. So the guys who've just have just recently done camp.
Okay, the annual camp.
So they've just done 9 days of annual camp. And now they're going to off 2 weeks to take part in a wide range of training. Which includes marksmanship, should I say, rappelling, navigation skills, command tasks, conventional operations, watermanship, and of course, we've been talking about it, Hadda. So just yesterday, I received an invite to contribute to the training, for us to contribute to the training, in particular to Hadda. And ironically enough, one of our personnel supporting will be going. So he's been informed, so he will have opportunity to take part from an instructor side of things to give them an introduction into Hadda, which is great.
Awesome.
Which is great. This is yet another great opportunity to share our skills, experience, learning from regional partners, and continue building stronger relationships across the Caribbean Reserve community.
Okay, mm-hmm. I like that. Good for them. This is great, and it's again the collaboration, as you had mentioned, with the Caribbean partners. Mm-hmm. So there is a lot going on there when it comes to regional training. So you're preparing for your 5th intake of recruits. What can these new recruits expect from basic training? And when are we welcoming them? What's the timeline for this?
Okay, so it's 2 weeks. It starts on the 25th of this month until the 7th what are we now, July, August, until the 7th of August. July, August? Yeah, August. So what can they expect? It's to be challenging, but rewarding introduction into life within the Cayman Islands Regiment. It's about building a strong foundation, developing discipline, teamwork, confidence, and the right mindset to become an effective and efficient member of the team. They will learn how the regiment operates. So this includes they'll learn about command structure, responsibilities under the Defence Act and relevant legislation, our military values and standards, and the importance of communication, drill, and core skills needed to work efficiently with others. They'll also be introduced to our 5 core capabilities, which we've mentioned already this morning: your HADA, your USAR, your MED, your security, and your general duties. All of these skills come together during a final field training exercise towards the end of week 2, similar to what was conducted at annual camp, but shorter. So it's a small introduction to the field training exercise where the recruits would have the opportunity to put their trainings and practice into a realistic environment. So it's a shorter version of annual camp, and then what we do is we gradually build up.
Okay. And I guess you can't tell me what that realistic experience for them to go through is.
No.
I'll be giving it away a little bit. I got you. And then be preparing for it somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
And so you already have these recruits, right? You did your
there's a
process.
39. It's 39. So they've all been issued kit. Instructions have gone out already. So what time to report or are due to go out, what time to report, where to report, etc., and how long for. They're aware.
39 is pretty good.
Yeah, it is. So
we're
looking to try and do at least 35 a year.
Okay.
So our full strength, we look to try and get about 216 by 2030.
Oh, okay, that's the goal.
That is the goal.
216 by 2030.
Yes, that's the goal. Yeah.
And right now we're at 89.
87.
87.
Yeah.
That does not include these.
Doesn't include. No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, very cool.
So that will bolster up a bit more, and then next year more.
So my question, I guess, for your new recruits that are hemming and hawing, should I do this? Should I check it out? What are the things that are holding them back? And what would you say to them to?
Personal ability. So physical ability. We're quite strict on our entry requirements as far as physical standards, and this does become apparent out on exercise and during training. So. Probably their other concern might be, do I have the amount of time? Am I able to commit the time required? Because initially for recruits, there's a 2-year commitment. And then after the 2 years, then if you wish to say thank you very much, you can part ways, then you can do so, but you have to give us notice. Failing that, it will just roll on, continue on. Maybe it's a discussion that needs to be had with employers.
Yeah, how does that go? Because I'm curious about that. How does somebody approach the employer and be like, I would like to join the reserve, which means I can't be at work sometimes.
Sure.
Sure.
Well,
what's the pitch that they give the employers?
Well, it's transparency is something that I encourage. So if it's something that they are interested in doing so, it's a conversation they need to have early with their employer, and then between the employer, ourselves, and the employee. We will sit down and say, right, this is what the training requires, these are when required. If you're able to make them, if you're not able to make them, shall I say, let us know, and then we can work around that, see if there's other times when you can actually come in. Our legislation actually says that the employers have to let them go, but we're not necessarily looking to enforce that. We want to work with the employees. We have support from them as it is already, great support, and we look to try and build on that support. Okay. So yes, a conversation needs to be had with your family also.
Yeah.
Definitely with your employers.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's good points made there. It's in legislation, the employer cannot say no, and I don't think you would want to be known as saying no either. Why would you say no to somebody learning how to protect and take care of one's country?
That's right. Yeah.
Any last words you have? You've got maybe 30 seconds.
Okay. So. With what we currently have, the Cayman Islands is ready. Okay, we're committed and we're here to serve. Here to serve the people of the Cayman Islands. Our reservists train hard. They build strong partnerships, and we stand together prepared to support the Cayman community when it matters.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Thank you so much, Major Rabess. It was great to have you in studio with me again today.
Thank you, Kathy. I look forward to the next time.
You might have another promotion. So yes, that might be me hinting to the regiment right there. It was great to have you on, and wishing the best of luck with the Jamaica training that's happening. Or they're off tomorrow, I guess, right?
Correct. That's correct. Yes.
So yeah, and with the new recruits that you're bringing in for that 5th cohort now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to go to the 9 a.m. headline news right now, and then I'm going to be talking a little bit about art, from the military to art.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The Human Rights Commission is researching the landfill after a massive fire in April. During the fire, several schools were forced to close due to smoke, and the HRC says the lack of proper recycling facilities, quote, continues to raise environmental concerns. The Secretariat is conducting research and preparing an analysis of how these issues may contravene Cayman's Bill of Rights. In international news, Iranian state media says Iran has launched new strikes today, with Jordan saying it shot down 8 missiles. It comes as Iranian state media accuse the U.S. of striking near a nuclear power plant. The U.S. has not commented. Meanwhile, huge crowds gathered in Mashhad for the burial of the former Iranian supreme leader. Overnight, the U.S. said it hit 90 targets in Iran, while Tehran says it targeted American bases in Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain. The Iranian health ministry says 14 people were killed over the past 2 nights. Tensions have reignited after attacks on commercial ships off Iran's coast. And Graham Plattner's meteoric rise from relative obscurity to the Democratic nominee in this year's marquee U.S. Senate contest has now ended in catastrophic collapse. The oysterman and former Marine who beat a popular governor and built a grassroots network of more than 15,000 supporters in Maine announced he was suspending his campaign Wednesday night. The news came via recorded video posts on social media just a little more than 48 hours after Politico published a story containing allegations from an ex-girlfriend that an intoxicated Plattner had entered her home uninvited in 2021 and sexually assaulted her. He has denied the allegation. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter. Radio Cayman Headline News.
Your Cayman Islands Health Services Authority has been the national healthcare provider of the Cayman Islands for many generations. We have elevated our level of care to ensure you, our patients, have the best possible experience. We offer better access to care close to home with the most locations on all 3 islands, delivering a full range of primary, secondary, tertiary, and emergency care. HSA is a JCI accredited organization, and we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. Now on this segment, we're going to relax a little bit. I went in with some little bit of a hard news this morning, my bias World Cup updates. We were speaking with the regiment there, so I have to sit up straight when I'm talking with the regiment. I always feel like I might be getting into some trouble, but now we're turning on our creative minds, which I never ever want to turn off. But My guest this morning is Yonier Powery. He's a multidisciplinary artist whose work bridges Cuba and Cayman through color, craft, and deep cultural storytelling. From ceramic sculptures to paintings inspired by the sea, Yonier's art pulls you into a universe shaped by heritage, discipline, and pure creative drive. After seeing some of his artwork, his very, very small sculptures a few years ago at Cayman Art Week, I was absolutely blown away by the detail in his work, and I had him on the show shortly after that. And I don't know if you're going to remember this, but we spoke about that, and I was like, you're the guy who created. I was blown away.
You like the astronaut?
Remember? Yes, because it was one of the pieces of art that just still clearly years later sticks to me, and I have to do a lot better because I think I've only returned once to Cayman Art Week. I feel really bad about it, and I love it.
That's a good piece.
So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course you still have it. What would you be doing with the piece? I mean, selling it, something like that.
I really want to keep it.
Oh, you want to keep that one?
I want to keep that one.
Have you had people reach out to you and say
some people offer me, but I really know. I really want to keep it. I enjoy so much some of the pieces I do. I really want to. I love it so much. I don't want to give. It's like my baby. You know? I have so many babies, but some babies I want to keep.
I wonder if parents with children feel like real children feel in that sense. You can have this one. This one's a little difficult.
It's different.
But this is my favorite.
Different. Yeah, very good.
Oh, that's interesting. And I'm not sure. Maybe I've never really asked an artist that if there's works that you've created that you just want to keep for yourself, because I think for me, I'd probably want to keep everything to myself in that sense. Mm-hmm. Because it's something I created, and maybe it came out of a certain feeling, experience, or whatever, and I don't want to let that go.
I believe me. Sometimes when I do my work, I just really I would like to keep all of them, but that's one of the things you have to keep moving. You have to keep doing your business. You have to buy material, things like that. So maybe some people, when they really want to buy a piece, they buy. You can use that income just to keep producing. And keep, getting more ambition, trying to get largest pieces, and but one piece give birth more pieces.
Yes, that's very true. Yeah, and maybe you don't want to keep all the pieces.
Yeah.
So tell me what's new. So it's been a couple years since I've seen you, and what is the big news?
I've been very busy working in doing a lot of ceramic. Some people ask me why you not go back to do your acrylic painting again? I tell no, I just really, I move by feelings. I just, I enjoy so much my creative freedom. And I really want to have, that pressure I have to do this because I have to sell this and stuff like that. I just want to go with my feelings, how I feel. And, I enjoy it so much. I feel so blessed when I do all of the pieces and I finish my ceramic, my watercolor, scotch, whatever I do, I really like it. This is something I enjoy a lot. I am very happy man. I'm a very happy artist.
Well, that's excellent.
Yeah,
I love to hear that. You don't always hear people saying they're happy and they're happy in what they're doing.
Yeah,
so it's a beautiful thing.
This is my passion. This is why from the time I was a child, I remember I see one artist doing his work and I say, you know what, I want to be like him. And
which artist was that? Can you remember?
My art teacher.
Okay.
Villafania. I always mention in my bio stuff like that. Okay. Great man. I remember when I went to his studio, he just opened the door of his studio for me, and I became more than his student. I became like a son for him, and he teach me so much. He's one of the greatest Cuban artists in Cuba. He has so much students, but I am one of the students who go to his house, and he opened the door for me. I sit on the table to eat with his family and stuff like that. He's very he's not for everybody, but with me, I just believe. I'm very grateful for him. Okay. Last year we spent some time. I was invited for the International Biennial in Cuba.
Okay.
Ceramic Biennial, and he called me and said, I'm going to be in that biennial. I said, oh, perfect. So we spent a lot of time. For many years, we didn't spend the time we spent last year, at night talking. He telling me stories, and Johnny, I love your work. You just always give me instruction. Yeah, it's good.
So when you say that you create mostly from your feelings, are you trying to create when you're mostly having good, happy, positive feelings? Or will you create also when there's maybe frustration, anger, or sadness?
I can work when I am mad or...
You can't?
I can't.
Oh.
Yeah. When I say, no, I feel a little stressed out, tired, I can work like that.
That's interesting because...
Some people, some artists, they need
that
to just that fuel that's a motor to do things. I'm not like that.
Okay, so you're happy most of the time.
Because we artists, and sometimes we have different ways to express and we communicate, and we are like a mirror. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we reflect what we see, what we love, how we feel.
Right.
And I am the one who really I like to. I don't know. I just been all over my studio, working, trying this, different, working in different medium. Yeah, but I really had to get inspired from one idea or something like that for me to work. And all over one idea give me another idea, and just never end. I want to use different materials. I want to mix all of the ceramic with metal and wood, and it's good. It's fun.
So do you, as you said, you've tested other mediums of art, but ceramics is your main focus right now?
Yeah.
That's the one that you feel like you love doing this?
That's, yeah. When I went to the art academy, my friend say, when you touch a piece of clay, my friend, you're going to stay there forever. I say, really? But that was true.
I wonder what they saw in you that realized you'll be stuck on that.
Yeah.
Tell us about the academy, though. Wilfredo Lam Academy.
Wilfredo Lam Academy. That school right now is closed. They closed down the school. And
was that just very recently, or?
A couple of years ago.
Okay.
Like 10 years ago. They're closing it.
A couple years ago was 2 years ago.
Oh, well,
I'm like 10 years ago is more.
10 years ago. Yeah.
Maybe as we get older, we say a couple years ago, meaning 10, 20 years
Long time
ago. We don't want to admit the time that's
passed.
Well,
that was a great experience. When I planning to go to the school, to that school, I just made that decision. I went to my art teacher, Villafaña studio. He said, okay, you want to get prepared for the school? Yeah, okay. So I spent 1 year in his studio, learning how to draw and work in different techniques, because the school, when they do the test, they are very demanding, very, very demanding. You have to be really good to be in that school. You have to show you had the skill to be in that school. I remember that year when I went, that was in 2000 when I went.
Okay.
And they was over 100 people went to that school, and they only picked 15 from over 100 students, and that was very, very tight.
They only picked 15 students for what?
To be part of the school.
But over 100 applied?
Over 100 applied.
Okay, but they only 15?
15.
That is very, very tiny cohort of.
Yeah, and then every 3 months they test the student to see the improvements of that. If they not improve and they not see no improvement, they have to go.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, how long was the program?
4 years.
4 years. Oh, so you've been tested every 3 months for 4 years.
The first year they test you for every 3 months. The second year, then they give you more. You pass that very strict time.
So when you went to your art teacher,
you learn everything there. You learn everything. Good teachers, good program.
From Villafaña, which was your art teacher, the person who inspired you. He prepared you for this art school. Was there any you don't need to do this, you have a talent, or was he encouraging of this?
No, it's good to be. The problem is when you go to the Academy of Art in Cuba, you get a degree. And it's like the doctor, like a lawyer, something like that.
Right.
And then you get like a AD, and you are self-employed. So you can do whatever business you want. They can pay you millions The government don't bother you around because you are graduated as an artist.
The government doesn't bother you in Cuba if you're an artist?
No, when you do business.
Okay.
When you do a business or a hotel want a mural and stuff like that, they know. Yeah, because you have a degree in art.
Okay, so he was encouraging of this.
Yeah,
how did he prepare you for that? Especially because the school was very demanding.
I remember one time when I went there, he said, "Okay, you need to draw." He take a big bucket of garbage, and he dumped it on the table. And he said, "Draw all of that."
No. No way.
He did that to me, yeah.
What was that drawing like?
Oh, man. I spent almost a month doing drawing all of those things. And when he finished, he said, "Well, I know you're not going to do it too well, but you not give up." And that's what I like. I say, "Welcome to my place." He said a lot of students just give up. He said, "That's too much." Why? Because it's a big everything. And they give me a piece of paper and a pen for me to draw that. So
and a pen?
A pencil.
A pencil, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So I had to do all the shadows.
And it's not exactly an attractive thing to draw.
No.
Yeah, so I can understand people wanting to give up on it.
Sometimes life is not that pleasant and you have to keep going.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel it was more of a test in that sense.
It was a test. They told me, "Okay, you not give up, you're welcome to my place." And
you didn't throw it away just because you didn't like how
I get mad at him. When he told me to draw that. I say, "Why? You can put flowers, you can put a banana or a
person,
apple, orange." He said, "No, draw all of that."
Wow.
And I did it, and I think that was a good preparation for me. When I say he never said nothing to me, I was going every morning, go and draw that little by little.
Okay.
And he said, "Okay."
Interesting. Let's go to a quick commercial break right now, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes as we learn more about Yonier Powery and his art.
I'm Michael Webster.
And I'm Denise Brown of Cayman Insurance Center.
Family is not the most important thing, it's everything.
We have worked with the community and their families on protecting themselves for the future.
Whether it's providing top-rated life insurance
or protecting your family's household investment.
From our family to yours, we understand and we care.
I'm Denise Brown. Call me at 814-7229.
And I'm Michael Webster at 925-5433.
We are Cayman Insurance Center.
Specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services at an affordable rate. We are Michael and
Denise at Cayman Insurance Center.
Call today.
Not sure where you fit in tech? Pathways in Tech by Enterprise Cayman can help you find your route. Whether you're interested in project management, computer support, or network systems, this program helps individuals explore practical, career-focused skills for real opportunities in Cayman's tech and innovation sector. It's beginner-friendly, job-relevant, special economic zone connected, and scholarships are available. Your path in tech starts here. Visit enterprisecayman.ky to apply today.
The 7 a.m. Sports Report, brought to you by Dr. Wayne Porter, offering a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today.
Hi, this is Joey Hugh, Leader of the Opposition. On behalf of myself and the entire opposition, I extend heartfelt congratulations to Radio Cayman on your 50th anniversary. For 5 decades, you have served as a trusted voice for our people, informing, educating, and connecting our islands with integrity and dedication. Your commitment to public service, broadcasting, has strengthened our democracy and preserved our Caymanian identity. We honor this milestone and the many men and women who built and sustained this national institution over the years. Congratulations on your 50 years of service to the Cayman Islands.
The Buzz with your host, Kathy Miller.
Welcome back to The Buzz. I'm your host, Kathy Miller, and we've got our creative hats on right now. We are speaking with artist Yonier Powery, and he's a multidisciplinary artist. And I mentioned that I discovered him through his ceramics works that was on display at Cayman Art Week a few years ago. And he remembers this conversation because as he pulled up, yeah, you like my astronaut ceramic that he made that he doesn't want to let go of. So it's definitely a piece of art that he absolutely loves too. So we were just speaking about some of his training, and the Wilfredo Lam Academy is where he studied. And as Yonier said to me just during the break, you're absolutely prepared to paint anything in front of you when you come out of that school. You're prepared for anything. So in that sense, in seeing what that school has taught you, and you transition to Cayman and you do art full time, how do you, when it comes to commissions and people coming to you and asking you to create things, how do you approach that relationship? Because you like to create from your feelings. So how do you approach when somebody says, I'd like you to make something for me?
Well, commission is something I really don't like to do commissions. Don't like it. But I do it. If somebody just pay me what I afford, I do it. I really want more like sell what I create than paying something, People ask me like, hey, we like to have something, like this. Some people have different tastes. Maybe they don't like in the way I do my work, but they want something more personal, to something from their inspiration. They use me as a tool for what they have in their brain.
Okay.
You say, I have this idea and stuff. Can you do it for me? I say, okay. So we work together in that.
Okay. I can understand that because I feel like I have a lot of ideas.
But
in my
the
brain.
thing is, like, when you finish the work, sometimes you say, oh, I want more red here. And that's when things start getting a little more like, oh, I like red. Yeah, a little more blue. And then just like, oh, man. I enjoy more to sell my what I create.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. Somebody they want a commission, I can do it for them. But it's not like I really not promote to do a commission.
Okay. So when you do sell your art, who are the buyers?
When I do my house, I have a lot of loyal clients. People who have not only one piece, they have. Well, I have a client who had 9 pieces from me in his house.
Wow, amazing. Okay.
Yeah, Sergio Serrano, that's his name. I have other people who have 5, 4, a lot of pieces.
Okay.
And yeah, every time they buy one, they always come for another one, and they come for another one. It's good. And some people call me and say, I would like to see what you have new and stuff like that. I say, okay, I just buy it because they want a piece of me. They want something from my inspiration. They want to see through my work. They want to see the artist through his work.
Okay.
When they see I have friends who say, I went to the gallery, and when I see that piece, I say, that's Yonier Powery. I not even look at your signature.
Oh, that's very cool.
And
how does that make you feel?
Very good, very good, because they can see me through my work.
Do you think you have a signature style?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
You can see it's different. It's different.
Okay. And with the people that are returning to you and buying more art from you, and that's so you're establishing a good relationship there.
Of course, they become family to me.
Yeah.
I don't even like to call them clients.
Mm-hmm.
I call them because you see, it's when somebody purchases your work, it's just you create something to share with the world. And when people say, what, I want that piece in my house, it's like a tray.
But it's more than one piece. So from a few of them,
yeah,
up to 9 pieces with one.
Just a few of them have one piece from me. They're always coming from more.
So that's the interesting thing in returning to an artist and buying more work from them. I don't know why I'm thinking that that's not a regular thing.
Some people feel inspired when they see their work. And you have something in your wall, in the wall of your house, or you have in a corner scotch, and every time you look at that, you get inspired.
Mm-hmm.
You say, because you see talent, you see hard work, you see so many things there, you see a story. Because every piece of me just say a story of my life, from the time I start, and believe me, I've been doing art for 27 years. This is my entire life. I'm 43 years old, so more than half of my life.
Was there ever a time you were doing more than just art? Were you also doing other jobs and trying to do art at the same time?
Well, I work in I just got company, and they've been supporting me very good, very good. They've been my sponsor from the day one. That's my only job when I moved to Cayman.
Okay.
In Cuba, I was doing full-time. I was full-time artist.
Okay.
I just fall in love with Cayman when I came here. I see, for my Cayman connection, and always want to come here to meet Cayman. And I just love Cayman so much. So quiet, helped me to just focus more in my work. And Cuba was very busy doing a lot of things and see the nature. I love nature. I love the sea, and I love everything. I'm doing farming too. I have a piece of land there. I just doing my planting potato, callaloo. I love all of those things.
Okay.
And here when I move, just is gonna be a little more tough for the art business, but so far I'm doing very well.
Okay.
So far I'm doing very well. And the company where I work, they just always there for me to support me in everything I need. It's good. I always say to everybody, I see just got company as a home. I don't see it like a workplace.
So I was wrong when I said that you do art full time. I thought you did art full time here, but it was in Cuba.
Art, no.
Okay.
I was a full-time artist in Cuba.
In Cuba, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're still fully employed here.
Yeah.
And you're still doing your art.
I still doing my art.
Okay. So I wasn't entirely.
It's tough. It's tough. But I love it.
You have two full-time things you're doing.
Yeah, but that's a good thing when you have a passion. When you really love something, you don't care about the price. You don't care about sometimes I am very disciplined when I do something. Discipline for me is the key for everything.
Why is it the key?
Because that's what keeps you going. You never stop. You just put yourself in a position like I never gonna give up, and I always. This is what I love to do.
I fall off of discipline sometimes, so that's why I'm asking, why is it key for you? I know how important it is.
So you achieve a lot when you are disciplined.
Yeah,
you achieve a lot.
You really, really do. So
yeah,
it's one of those skills that I think everybody needs to kind of master. But
I just finish work, go home, and just spend time in my studio and doing all of the things I have, working in my new projects now. I'm doing some pieces now. I'm not gonna give too much about. I don't say too much about that, but it's gonna be amazing. Amazing, a fantastic
Can you give
work.
us a bit of a hint? Something? You're an artist, so you should be able to somewhat describe or tell me something without giving it away.
It's about mangrove.
Okay.
Sculptures, but I don't want to give too much about it. It's gonna be people's gonna love, and the material I am using for that is just gonna blow people's mind.
Okay. When is your somewhat projected date that you might be ready for this?
I'm just working on that now. I'm doing a lot of watercolor right now.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I love watercolor. It's so demanding. It's just you need a lot of skill for that. And just I love watercolor. For so long I want to spend time doing watercolor because I've been so busy doing ceramic, and ceramic take a lot of time. And I say this year, you know what? I'm just gonna put the ceramic on one side. I'm gonna focus in doing some watercolors.
But people wanted you to go back to your acrylic.
My acrylic.
And you were like, no. But you've turned to watercolor.
It turned to watercolor, but it's beautiful pieces I'm doing now in watercolors.
What do you think is the draw, or how you fall into maybe a season of life that you choose to focus on a different medium of art? What do you think makes that happen?
Say again?
Like, you don't want to focus on acrylic, on painting with acrylics. You don't want to focus on that right now. You want to do a focus on ceramics and watercolor. So when it comes to different eras in your life, why do you think that you might enter a season of your life where I don't want to deal with this kind of art, I want to focus on this? What do you think inspires that?
Maybe sometimes just like when I just, this is how I work. I just start drawing things. I have an idea what I want to do and say, okay, I choose if I do it in ceramic or watercolor. And then say, okay, I'm going to do in ceramic and I'll do a few pieces of this in watercolor. But when I feel, I guess when I am in a technique, I get a little boring about this one. And then I jump to the other one. Because that's how I was trained in the school. They teach us about different material, and I just get the habit. I can't stick with only one thing. I have friends who come to the school and they just stick with only one technique. But I am not like that. It's what I'm telling you. Each artist has a different way to see art.
Right, and to express it.
But I like to try different material. Challenge is what I like in my work.
Now, Yonier,
challenge. I like to, okay, now I want to take this to another level. This is what I love, challenge. I challenge myself a lot, believe me, and this gives me good result.
Excellent. I would say so. If you're able to sell a lot of your pieces there and create how you want to on your terms, that's important.
I have friends who say, the other day I was talking to one of my friends, I was telling I was doing watercolor, and he say, Yonier, but you can paint watercolor too? Mm-hmm. I tell him, yeah, of course. He said, ceramic, acrylic painting, sculpture in metal, and watercolor too. I said, yeah, that's what I like, That's what I like. And just like, I have so much ideas and I have so much things to do.
Awesome. We're at the end of the show,
I hope I can live long enough to put together all of the project and all of the stuff.
I hope you do too. I hope you do too. But we're at the end of the show. I got to end it.
Okay.
I'd love to hear more about it. And, there's so many things still to ask. But we're at the end. Time is up. So I just want people to know if they would like to see your art, where can they do so? And if they want to purchase any, how do they get in touch with you?
That's easy to find me. You just put my name in Google and they're going to see all of the information about me. In Instagram, they can find me with Yonier Powery.
Spell your name.
Yonier.
Okay.
Powery.
Okay, perfect.
I have a permanent, I have a piece at the National Gallery in the Museum of Art, in the National Gallery. And I have a few pieces at the Kennedy Gallery, at Workshop Plaza. The Workshop. Yeah, it's easy. They can contact me and they come to my place and I can show them all of the work I have there.
And you can talk some art.
Of course.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
To everybody else out there, thanks for hanging out with us on The Buzz this morning. I'll be back with you on Tuesday. I may have a very, very big interview on Tuesday with somebody who leads the country, but we don't know. It's not guaranteed. That's why I'm just hinting at it. But maybe if he hears this, he might be like, yes, let me confirm. We will see. So that might be on Tuesday. Again, don't forget it is France. And who does France play it again today? Is it Morocco? I can't remember. But anyway, it's France versus somebody today. And we'll see what happens. I know I said it earlier, but that's in my notes somewhere. I can't find them. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great Thursday and enjoy the weekend as it comes.
The Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And Cayman Enterprise City, Cayman's innovation hub. Discover your opportunity at enterprisecayman.ky.
Radio Cayman.